Okay, now we're in round 4 of Disney Villains War 2, so let's get going. So, the first one is Pete and Riku versus Zexion. Okay, this theme is called Painful Payback from Batman Arkham Asylum, in case you guys don't know. So, Zexion is tasked to take out any of Maleficent's forces, so he starts with the youngest apprentice of Maleficent, Riku. But it looks like Pete has a chance to prove Maleficent, or whatever, since he did use the Ice Titan. I still wonder how he got into the CGI realm since it died. Did you just punch Riku? What, is he trying to be a show-off? Oh, Riku is now wearing his dark armor form. You know, Dark Riku or whatever. And Riku has killed Zexion. Or they think he's dead. Okay. Next fight, now in the live action universe. Dr. Facilier, or Dr. Terminus, versus Maxim Horvath. Maxim Horvath has found out that Hoagie has betrayed him and gave the book to Dr. Facilier. But he's going to show him what happens to those who betray him. Oh, poor Hoagie. Looks like Facilier, or Terminus, is using a spell book. I like how it's not really a fight, he's just using the book. I mean, despite how cheesy and over the top and corny Pete's Dragon is, I think Dr. Terminus and Hoagie are like really good villains. Okay, one thing I like is this scene where he has a reprise of Money, Money, Money by the Pound, and he's standing behind this. Hold on. It's just funny when they were just doing the reprise, and then all of a sudden there's a honk, and it's kind of clever. You're using Horvath's magic on as it is, and now his hat is on his, between his eyes. Yeah, this isn't really a fight. They're just using a spell book. Well, it's not. It's using as a spell book to fight Maxim Horvath, which is kind of clever. And now Dr. Facilier, or Dr. Terminus, and Hoagie wins. And now Horvath is trapped inside of that jar. Next fight. Zigbar versus Scar. And, not going to go into the whole detail. I'm going to explain something. Turns out I got it wrong. Mr. Dark does not hate Scar. Well, even Histerbuff was kind of misinformed. He said someone told him that. So I guess someone told Histerbuff a lie. Well, what I read in his video of the house of, it's our house now, he said was, I don't hate Scar, I dislike his fan base that always glorifying him as the best thing since grilled cheese. As a villain, he's honestly a good one. I kind of feel his pain. The same reason for me is Lady Dimitrescu. Yeah, the big mummy milkers from Resident Evil 8 Village. Yes, that annoyed me. I don't get why people had to make her like she's a sex goddess. So I just thought I'd get that clear. Timber! And Zigbar wins. Next fight, Clue versus Sarg. Looks like Clue is going into the game grid, for, I guess, like a challenge. So he's going to face off against the MCP's programs, who are like the grid's equivalent of, the athletic sports. I really like the Tron movies. They're really good. I like how it's the original Tron versus the new Tron. Well, it's not really the remake of Tron. It's basically the sequel to the original Tron. I don't get why they didn't call it Tron 2, which I think it would have make sense, but Oh well. Looks like Sarg has cheated. The very obvious CGI Jeff Bridges away! Zarg wins. Next fight, Larkstein versus Ursula. And, yeah, I just don't like this villain at the slightest. Hold on. Okay, how did Prince Eric got into the CGI realm? What, did Ursula just brought her in? I'd rather not think of the other reason. Was that Larkstein fighting Zell? That's Ursula in her disguise. I was rooting for Ursula to win because I just don't like Larkstein. Because I think a lot of people just don't like her. Larkstein, I mean. I was rooting for Ursula to win. Who, me or her? I noticed you're not using the button mashing on there. Kind of clever, because that would have been distracting. To see that in the fight, that is. It's one where in the level of Kingdom Hearts 2, yeah, there's mostly singing. Which I don't mind at all. Oh, and Larkstein wins. Boo. I'll leave the link down below of the Kingdom reviews on Atlantica. Ugh. Yep, she won. Next fight. Otto versus Zerg. Oh, looks like Xemnas has hacked into the Otto and have him to betray Zerg. Oh, now he's going all hail 9000. I haven't seen 2001 A Space Odyssey. I need to get it. I know of how. It's like, bro, why you betray me? We're going to have a victory party at the Pizza Hut. Imagine that went like that. I wonder what would Zerg look like without that helmet. At least I think it is. I say Otto is like one of my favorite Disney villains, even a Pixar villain. Because he's just such a threatening villain, he is. Did you just throw that trash can right at me, bro? And looks like Otto wins. Bye-bye, Zerg. Next fight. Jafar versus Maleficent. The Mad Doctor has made a clone of Jafar and have him test to fight Maleficent. I know a lot of people ship Maleficent and Jafar because how similar they are. But I actually love the idea of them being rivals because it makes so much sense because they're so similar to each other. They'd be perfect as rivals. It's just kind of... That's the brilliant part of Disney Villains War. They each get to fight one another because any of them are very similar to one another. Oh, here's that crystal Jafar. Oh, I gotta get something. Huh. She's bringing out the big guns. The magic big guns, the dark spell, that is. And Maleficent wins. Now for the epilogue. So, Riku has informed Maleficent that some of her allies have been been killed off. But she doesn't care about that, because Riku mentions something about the Organization 13 are using something called Kingdom Hearts, which she believes could... hold on. Yep, she wants to take it over. And then we see Dr. Facilier in Dr. Terminus' form, along with his allies, meet up with Mesagog. Wait, what? Mesagog? Mesagog, what are you doing here? You're not from Disney. What are you doing here? What, you find yourself in a wrong war? Dude, you're a Power Ranger. That's a Power Ranger villain. Okay, at first I was confused. Why is there a Power Ranger villain in Disney Villains War, even though it's not Disney, but I began to research something. I looked it up, and the reason why he's in there, get ready for this. Disney used to own Power Rangers. I repeat, Disney used to own Power Rangers. Guess you guys didn't know that, did ya? I guess the reason why Power Rangers was not on Disney Wiki is because they no longer own them. I think I did saw Maleficent on his page on there, and I guess it got removed. Okay, the reason why Disney purchased... This was before Disney bought things like Star Wars, Fox, and Marvel. They purchased Power Rangers because they were looking for something targeted towards boys. Because the ones they have targeted towards girls are, the Disney princesses. They want something to target for boys. And they thought, hey, let's get Power Rangers. Sure. I think I remember watching this on JetX once, back when I was visiting my cousin. Back when me and my brother were young. And it's surprising to know Disney used to own Power Rangers. The reason why they no longer owned it is because they felt embarrassed that they bought it. They felt embarrassed that they owned it. So they no longer owned the rights. So they gave the rights back to Saman, which then was at Nickelodeon, but now as Hasbro. Let me know in the comments if you guys knew that already, or you just never knew that. Also, Power Rangers used to be one of those meet and greet characters at the Disney theme parks at Epcot. I just thought I'd let the information in. I did look it up. There's also the Power Rangers wiki has Disney on it. There was also the Disney era. The Power Rangers era of Disney, or as the Disney era. I'd like a reaction.
I called you here in the hopes of an alliance of sorts.
Yep, he wants to forge an alliance. Also, Maleficent is basically like well, there was like this CEO guy who was like the father of one of the side characters. It was basically the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde kind of character. It basically, the monster side. Just also a fact to put out. And yes, he's a dinosaur. Yeah, Fastlane is just not sure they can trust him, but he says he knows a way to bring them back to their dimension, which intrigues them. And now back to the CGI round. We see Clayton meeting up with Charles Muntz from Up. I was wondering if we're ever going to use this guy. I mean, yeah, he was already using this. I was just hoping in other wars we could. So he gets to join Maleficent's forces. Then we see Hades and Mirage decided to send chaos across the globe and starting at Agrabah. Oh, to usurp the Sultan. Oh boy. Not only will there be chaos, there will also be misery. Two thumbs way, way up. Hold on. Oops.
Very soon.
I don't know what happened.
Then I can end this charade.
Okay, he asked if Kingdom Hearts is ready. That's what he said. Yeah, you get where this is going. Hold on. This is getting epic now. Bum, bum, ba da 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 da, bum, da da. Things are getting so epic now. The battle of the multiverse has begun. Wait, I thought I already had. Now things are getting really intense. And why the music stopped. Pretty good round.